We are witnessing a defining moment in human history. A planetary emergency decades in the making and the sudden onset of a pandemic have exposed hidden vulnerabilities in our societies, threatening to reverse decades of progress. In Asia and the Pacific, home to 60% of the world's population, the pandemic could spell devastation for millions. It has created a class of new poor, driving vulnerable sections of the population back into poverty across multiple dimensions such as health, education, income, and well-being. This is a region that experiences over 70% of global natural hazards, the trend of increasing disasters due to vulnerabilities such as demographic changes, ecosystems decline, and climate change are worsening conflict and fragility. Across the region, we see a cross-section of emergent trends that threaten the region's path to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. 1. Inequities in society are widening at the cost of social cohesion. There is a growing need for a new social contract in society to address the various challenges, taking into consideration gender, youth, and power dynamics in decision-making. 2. Parts of Asia-Pacific are undergoing significant geopolitical turmoil, witnessing shrinking democratic spaces and an erosion of trust in traditional institutions and leadership. 3. Demographic shifts are creating challenges for the future of work in the region. There is an increasingly dependent aging population in some countries, and in some other countries, a young generation facing a future where jobs are threatened by automation and technology. 4. An acute digital divide is preventing governments from reaping the benefits of a wave of new technologies sweeping through the region, constraining current and future economic development. We are designing a new generation of programming to support governments in responding to these trends. The 5 key outcomes we are supporting partner governments to accelerate are: inclusive growth and development financing for a sustainable future, responsive and accountable governance for effective public and private service delivery, resilience for crisis prevention, preparedness, response, recovery, and promoting social cohesion and stability, sustainable approaches to nature, environment, climate change, and energy for just and equitable development. How do we achieve this? Inclusive growth and development financing for a sustainable future. We will help countries find innovative sources of financing and new strategies to direct development spending towards a transformation that can support a universal social protection system and break the poverty and environmental degradation cycles. This includes support to medium, small, and micro enterprises and the startup ecosystem, with a focus on women and youth-owned businesses. Responsive and accountable governance for effective public and private service delivery. Expanded civic services can ensure more effective public participation in decision-making, leading to increased trust of citizens. Our programs will address access to justice, exclusion and discrimination, gender disparities, and strengthen the rule of law, transparency, integrity, and human rights. Resilience for crisis prevention, preparedness, response, recovery, and promoting social cohesion and stability. We will support government and stakeholders at all levels by building resilience to a wide range of shocks and threats, including conflict, climate change, disasters, and pandemics. Sustainable approaches to nature, environment, climate change, energy for just and equitable development. We will work towards the development of low-carbon, nature-friendly, sustainable, climate-resilient, inclusive societies that enable healthy lives and livelihoods. we see a unique opportunity for a transition to green economies as countries recover from the economic shock of COVID-19. We see innovation, digitalization, and new opportunities of partnerships as key enablers on this journey. As we work with partners across the UN system, we draw on each other's complementary strengths and capabilities to deliver stronger results. Our vision for Asia and the Pacific is aligned with UNDP's strategic plan, grounded in our continued commitment to eradicating poverty, accompanying countries in their pathways towards the SDGs, and working towards the Paris Agreement. Together, we can work with countries to expand people's choices for a fairer, sustainable future, to build the world envisioned by Agenda 2030, with planet and people in balance.